My name is Kiran Kaur. Today I'm going to paint you a story, The Power of Nirbhau Nirvair. I'd like to take you on a journey and explain to you what this means to me. Nirbhau Nirvair. This is the fourth line Guru Nanak Dev Ji wrote in the Mool Mantar, the first stanza of Sri Guru Granth Sahib, which describes the qualities of the all-pervasive God, Vaheguru. Nirbhau means without fear, and Nirvair means without enemies. These two Gurmukhi words show both sides of this all-powerful force we know as Vaheguru. It shows his pervasive power and his compassion, and in contrast it shows his overruling control of his creation and his mercy. The Mool Mantra continues on to talk about the other qualities of God, such as his timelessness and creative power. But in this painting, I want to focus on Nirbhau and Nirvair because I think they can be human qualities. They can be applied to each of us, and I believe that these qualities are for all of us to exemplify as best we can and shouldn't be reserved only for God. Fearlessness and total acceptance of all are integral to the character of a quote-unquote good person. By living in this mindset that nothing can bring you down, while still maintaining the humility of no judgment or hate of anyone you encounter, you can find the perfect balance, fearing none, yet respecting all. The literal meaning of Nirbhau is without fear. Nirbhau is a demonstration of Vaheguru's power and his overriding control of all beings. Nirbhau means that God himself has no fear and nothing can overcome him. In terms that are more understandable, Nirbhau translates into courage or bravery. And application of this idea doesn't need to be in great, valiant, Sparta-esque events. It can be the simple things. The raising your hand in class to voice your opinion. It can be saying that's wrong to someone who's bad-mouthing someone else. It can be trying out for a sports team that you may not make, but you just love the sport. It can be the little things, the little challenges in everyday life that will collectively make a difference in the course of your journey. I ran track and field for the first time at my high school last year as a freshman, and it was terrifying. I had reasonable race times, so my coach would put me in the higher-ranked heats. And when I ran with the number ones and the number twos of schools I was competing against, I never won my races. And it's kind of demoralizing, but I grew from that and learned to be more comfortable around those runners, and I made some amazing memories from that. Another example is the first day of school. I remember the first day of school in the town I moved to in the 5th grade, and that moment was scary. You don't know anyone, and no one knows you. And I don't think it's a bad thing to have goosebumps or butterflies on the first day of school, or whenever you enter a new surrounding. What I think is it's important to keep your head and stay calm, and know that Vaheguruji is always with you and will help you get through whatever it is that's going on. Also, I believe this is a universal religious concept. For example, as outlined in the Quran, courage is essentially the virtue that comes as a result of fearing no one, that only fearing and respecting God defines a devotee of God. And in the Bible it says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you." This means that God will give you no one to fear and give you everything you need, so long as you have faith in him. As opposed to Nirbhau, which demonstrates God's qualities of fearlessness and courage, Nirvair connotes qualities of forgiveness and compassion and mercy and all-loving. Nirvair means without hate, without judgment, and without enemies. As a personal example, I'll occasionally come home ranting about an unreasonable teacher or peer, or someone that annoyed me that day. And my mom always reminds me that I need to live with an open mind, that all people have a story and something to offer, and I don't know what their story has been up to the point that I met them. I don't know if they're starting a new chapter, or if they feel if their world is ending, or if their life has been easy or hard, or whatever it may have been, but the point is that I just don't know. However, this isn't always easy. It's really hard to have respect for everyone, all the people who are nice, who are mean, who are intelligent and polite, who are ignorant and rude. It's hard. And the same thing goes for not having judgment for anyone. As a part of human nature, we judge on appearance, whether it be positively or negatively. But as hard as it is, the point is to strive for this, to try and lead this life of openness and acceptance. When I think about what it means to embody the combined idea of Nirbhau Nirvair, I think of what it means to be a leader. And the best example I have of that is my dad. He's a leader in more than one way, and I know that he's good at what he does. He's accepting of other people's ideas and tries to compromise, but he's strong and independent at the same time, and isn't afraid to do the right thing, regardless of implication or outcome. Also, being an activist is exactly what Nirbhau Nirvair is talking about. Sikhi preaches to not only be a good person yourself, but then take it one step further and help the people who are not being treated well. The Sikh Coalition, Saldef, and Insaf each go out there and help fight these cases of people not being given their rights, and they fight for the people who are being persecuted. Guru Arjan Dev Ji also experienced this sense of being put down. When he became Guru, he was only in his teens, and people not only outside the Sikh community, but within it as well, questioned his ability to be a good leader, and in the end he proved he was a great leader by challenging the norms of his times. In this painting, I have a young girl walking alone on a path through the universe. The girl represents each of us and how in many ways our path to God is individual, and it's the choices we make and the actions that we take that will determine the course of our journey. The universe bit is how the path may not always be so black and white, that there are lots of paths in life, and we need to realize that, hey, it's up to each of us to make the choices that are right for us. This is my journey on the path of Nirbhau Nirvair, and I know it's going to be a little harder or easier at different times, but what's important is to start walking, and start with a step in the right direction, and then march on. And I don't know all the answers. I just have my beliefs, and I use them as my compass.